welcome. All right, just waiting for the reset that normally happens and to check on how long of a delay I've got. Okay, a bit of a glitch and 15-second delay. Okay, welcome again. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to talk about dignity as choice. And yes, this does have to do with yes and no. And it also I do want to add some context here. I do realize that it's not always that simple. Sometimes, you're in a position, work, relationship where there is some give and take there. This is to help us start to connect to the authentic yes, the authentic no, because that is an act of self love, respect, and dignity. So, I wanted to spend some time with how each of them feel just to kind of rewire the yes no paradigm that I shouldn't say we all, that I was most familiar with. That, yes was good, no was bad. So I have to have this in order to be able to do this, etc., etc. So it speaks to that as well. So if you're if you're struggling with something like that, this is meant to kind of step into that a little bit more to really connect to the fact that we are our own authority, when to say yes, when to say no. Now, again, this is not to erase the ginormous gray area in between yes and no. I am hoping that this will allow you to better step into asking for what you need to fill in the gap between the yes and the no, right? If it's a partial yes, but I need some other aspects filled here before I can commit, or it's a no and here's why. That type of thing to help build that up a little bit. So we're going to do kind of a basic tuning, since I've kind of set the stage for what the plan is and the purpose of this, the foundation for this. Just go ahead and close your eyes or soften your gaze. Again, you can be in meditative pose on a chair, on a cushion, just on the floor. You can lay down if that feels more comfortable. And we're just going to take a couple breaths here. Set the space for dignity as choice. Inhale. Exhale. Just anchor into your body. Inhale. Exhale. Just gathering ourselves to be fully present here. Notice how your body feels starting out. Let the rest of it go. Inhale, exhale. Okay, so that was more than a couple. Okay, now we're going to kick this off is I've been reading a lot of different books. Dignity is one of the things that kept coming up. I just noticed different gray areas or gaps, and then started paying more attention to how I keep giving myself permission to give up because I don't think I have the proper credentials, knowledge, right to speak, right? There's the whole permission slip aspect. So sometimes what we've convinced ourselves is necessary, needed, appropriate can feel like a trap, and it's self-created sometimes. Now, I'm not trying to get rid of all of the systemic issues or say that those don't exist. They very much do. I'm talking about within the context of the choices that we have direct control over, just to be clear. And within the lives that we create, again, based on our direct choices, right? Not the systemic outside, no control there, right? Just within the choices that we can make. When we start to set parameters like I do, where I will pause on putting out meditations or sharing meditations I found effective because I don't feel I have a right to voice that. I don't feel I have the right credentials. I don't feel I have the right degrees. Okay. This kind of narrows everything into a position where we believe that our choices are gone. And they aren't. There's a pivot point within what we can control. Again, directly, our direct choices here. So, as always, please listen to your intuition, your authentic voice. I am not that. I'm here as a fellow meditator trying to sort it all out, sort it all through, and question how I can apply meditation into these areas that I find either frustrating or confusing, and I want to apply my meditative practice to see just how far and wide my meditative practice can go. So I urge you to do the same with your own meditative practice, always listening to your body, your intuition, and your authentic voice. I'm here to walk beside you. I am not your authority. Okay. And I want to set myself free of that. I am not some rando guru sitting on a mountaintop. I do not have it all figured out. I largely am stumbling right alongside you. I just happen to have the anchor of meditation, and that anchor has saved my life repeatedly. So I want to share that with you here. Okay. That being said, you're also welcome to have Apsahai Hoa mantra playing. That's what I'm currently listening to. That's the mantra that's kind of my jam. I have a feeling it's going to be what I'm listening to every day, at least once a day until the end of the year. Please feel free to play that if you would like a mantra to anchor to. You're more than welcome to use the Gyan Mudra with index finger and thumb pressed together at the tip. It can be firm, it can be light. Please don't press super hard. That kind of defeats the purpose. Rest of the fingers point upward. You can have them on your knees, in your lap, or you can be laying down if you prefer, or have some nice jazzy music, be in silence, whatever you prefer. I'm going to turn the fan on. It's way too hot in here. Okay. All of that being said, I wanted to go ahead and get that off my chest and share that before we carried forward, because it was important. My intuition wanted me to express that. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on the small daily choices. Again, this is about our direct ability, right? This is our direct contribution. These are the choices that we are basically in charge of. Okay, this is not the outside system that we really have no control over. Okay. And as we walk through these, I don't want you to pick something that's massive or catastrophic. Okay, if you can to that to get a feel for it, okay. That's not the overall goal here though. Okay, this is not about trauma. This is not about recreating suffering. That's not the goal here. And yes, that's specifically to the no. A lot of us carry some concerns about no. Now that could just be me. Feel free to drop that in the comments if you see it differently. So small and daily choices is what we're starting with. Okay, it can be from today. It can be something that jumped right out at you like, hey, me, we're going to start with me. Now, I want you to start with that, and we're going to start with the no here. So I want you to pull up a small daily choice where you had to say no. Okay, we're going to start with had to. Now I want you to come into your body and I want you to notice how that no felt. So don't replay the entire scene. The main focus here is the no. Okay. And again, this is had to. You had to say no. And I want you to notice how that feels in your body. Okay. And then I want you to shift to a no where you felt kind of in between. It wasn't a had to. It wasn't a yeah, absolutely not from the center, right? It's in between. It's sort of a had to, and it's sort of just a nope, can't do it, can't make it, whatever the case is, right? So it's that middle ground no. Now I want you to notice what happens within your body. Okay. Now we're going to shift to that authentic no. Just came right up and out. Nope, can't do it. Nope, can't make it. Nope, like that at all. I want you to notice the quality of that no, where it just flowed right up out. No issues. It just came right up out. No, can't do it. Notice the texture there. Notice the quality of that no within you. Going to step back a little bit, and I want you to notice the differences as we went through those. And the reason we're stepping back instead of noticing it as we go through is more to section it out and then take a step back and look at the different sections to notice the quality as it's going from had to, middle ground, to nope, authentic, right? And just take a note of at least one thing that was different from each section. And if you notice more, that's perfect. That's perfectly fine as well. When I first started doing this, or the first time I did this, I could only do one. I could only do one thing. I was so overwhelmed with it that I was like, okay, I'll just pick one thing. So that's why we're starting with one thing. So if you want to do more, that's perfectly fine as well. Okay, now we're going to bring it back to that no situation. I want you to think about a time where you had a no that was middle ground. It was sort of had to, little bit authentic, right? And with this one, I want you to kind of step back a little bit if you can, and I want you to notice the interaction as well. Not the story, not the words, not what was happening, but just how the interaction itself feels from the middle ground of a no that sort of feels like it has to happen and sort of feels authentic to say no. Now we're going to shift to that authentic no that just flows up, feels perfectly aligned, not necessarily any resistance, not necessarily any tension or weight that comes with it. It just flows up and out. You feel at peace with offering the no. I want you to pick a time where you gave this no, where you offered this no, and notice that interaction. And for anyone that doesn't feel that they've had this interaction yet, I want you to pick a moment. It can be one that you've already been pulling up or one that you've already been referencing. I want you to imagine offering that authentic no in that moment and see how it feels. And no need to panic if you need to give a little bit of distance here to offer that no. Feel free to do it. So if you need to like pull the memory back just a little bit to make that no or to offer that no from an authentic place, do that. If you need to deepen your breath, if you need to roll your shoulders a little bit, maybe tap while you're offering that authentic no, just to help you notice how it feels within you. So it's not meant to be a confrontation, it's meant to connect to the authentic no. Okay. Now for this next part, I want you to open your eyes. I want you to shake your hands, shake your wrists. Go ahead and shake your arms out. Bring your arms out to your sides. Give them a little shake. Round your shoulders. Roll your head. And if you're laying down, just stretch. Actually, if you're sitting down, we can stretch as well. If you're laying down, wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Nice long stretch. And then we're just gonna shake out a little bit. Bring your arms up over your heads and shake. Bring them out to your sides and shake. However your body's asking you to shake, just give yourself a little bit of a shake here. Okay, so I wanted to start with no because no, as far as I've had the experience, has largely been a quote unquote negative, right? There's a lot more negativity or negative connotations regarding no than yes, right? Yes is heralded as the opportunity central. It's this wonderful, always open giving space, right? Okay, so let's slide into that. Now, we're going to go through the same three type of layers. Okay, so we're going to start with the yes that you felt you had to give, right? So I want you to call up a moment where you were asked to do something, offer something, provide something, and it was not an authentic yes. You absolutely felt you had to, you felt obligated, you felt there was no other option. You had to say yes. Now, this being said, I realize that there is a lot that is going into this meditation. Okay, so I want to take a moment here to just reiterate this is not about re traumatizing yourself. Okay, this is not about opening wounds. That's not what we're doing here. This is not about recreating suffering or stepping back into the suffering. Okay, so again, this is not heavy traumatic stuff I'm asking. These are just our small daily choices. Okay, so it's a heavy yes that you made an offering, or you were asked to do something, you said yes because you felt you had to, right? So you're running a little bit late, you head out the door, your neighbor's like, hey, can you help me um get this into my car? Yes. So you go help. Now you feel even more stressed about being late. You feel stressed. And you see what I'm saying? That I'm talking about little, small daily choices here. This is about connecting to our authentic yes and no, not re traumatizing, not recreating suffering. Okay. I just wanted to reiterate that this is important because re-traumatizing yourself, stepping back into suffering that you're not yet able to step into. I'm not a licensed therapist. That's not my genre. That's not my background. Okay, I don't want you to cause harm to connect to your authentic yes and no. This is meant to be elevating and supportive. Okay. So I just wanted to reiterate that. Thank you for going on this journey with me as I pause and listen to my intuition to call these things out. Okay. So your had to, yes. Again, simple. You're running late. You step out. Neighbor's like, hey, can you help me get this in my car? Ugh, yes. Okay. The simple daily stuff. And I want you to spend some time in your body and notice how that yes felt, not the interaction, not the lateness, not the neighbor. The story isn't the point. The feeling of that yes as obligation, that's what we're feeling in the body, okay? Okay, now we're going to move into the middle ground. Yes, it's not a had to, it's not fully authentic either. It's a bit of both, okay? It's the burger of both, right? It's in between the two buns, okay? that's, I just lost my train. So that's where we're headed. Pull that one up. And you can apply this to um, the same situation if you would prefer to continue using that. Just notice how it feels when it's not forced. Perhaps your neighbor and you're you're just best friends with your neighbor, so it takes a little bit of the pressure off. So you can pivot to make it a little bit lighter to notice where it's still kind of had, kind of authentic. We're just noticing what's happening in the body. We're not recreating a story. We're not creating a new one. Now we're going to shift to the authentic yes. Someone asked you to do something, instinct yes. Let's do it. Let's go. Here we stand. And then just notice the quality of that as well. Quality of the yes along with how it feels within you, what happens. And then take a little bit of a step back and notice the differences, the had to, the middle ground, and the authentic. And with this one, I want you to notice the difference in the interactions along with the shifts in your body. And again, it can just be one thing from each. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Now with this one, I want, if your eyes are closed, keep them closed. If you've softened your gaze, keep that gaze nice and soft. I want you to slowly come back into your body. And I want you to just be present in your body for a moment. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Nice deep breaths. And come back more firmly into your body. Inhale into your heart. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. So this practice wasn't about making huge life changes overnight. Wasn't necessarily about planning anything out. It was just about connecting to mindfully. And again, because our dignity is not negotiable, right? It's not up for debate. It simply is. So I wanted this to be a part of connecting to our authentic self, especially regarding yes and no, because this is about our self authorship. This is about our own choices, grounded from our authentic voice, our intuition. And we can feel dignity in the micro choices, right? It's not always this big, ginormic, grand thing. It's largely the micro choices that we make every single day. So mindfully choosing what's aligned with us and know, right, that's equally important. Not a lot of us have had the opportunity to spend time with that or even acknowledge it, right? You don't have time to just sit there and check in with how you're doing. You have to keep going. So I wanted to make sure I got this in there as a way to remind you that yes, in fact, you do have that option and you do matter enough, even in survival, to take note of what your body is telling you, because your body is going to guide you how best to move forward. So its voice does matter. It's vital in that situation as well. Not to tell anyone how to do anything. Again, this is offering mindful choices, awareness of our body. That is vital as well.